Um, yeah, we're ready to get right into it. We got another video by King Bro. I try not to give y'all the same videos too much. Like I'll be branching out, I'll be doing like different stuff. And like I don't I don't know, man. I think I used to look at my what was it, YouTube live um that you do too much stuff that's the same and then they be trying to say you this guy or that guy. They tried to say I was a WWE reactor because all I reacted to was WWE. I was like, nah, we can't do that. Then I was the food guy. Now, then I was the hair guy. I'm gonna just throw them all in there together now. And I'll be the everything guy. So anyways, let's get right into it. Here we go.
Today we're discussing one of the most controversial hair types. Who knew a hair type could be controversial? People with this hair type have oftentimes faced barriers of discrimination, including but not limited to school suspension and workplace harassment. And while this is one of the most controversial hair types, it's also the recipient of a lot of praise, love, attention, and conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you 4C hair. This is the ultimate guide to 4C hair. But before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to share with you guys one of my favorite quotes by Albert Einstein. Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. And one of the main reasons why I decided to share this quote is because it's the exact same that a lot of us try to do with 4C or type 4 hair in general. We try to shove 4C hair into non-4C hair environments, predicaments, and styles. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry, it will. You see, a lot of you guys are judging Steph Curry, an all-time three-point specialist, by his ability to dunk. A lot of you guys are judging Janet Jackson, who can dance, has fire music videos, and some hits on her hands, by her ability to do vocal runs like Whitney Houston. A lot of you guys are judging Angel Reese, who's already an all-time great rebounder in the WNBA, by her ability to twing, step back like Caitlin Clark. A lot of you guys are judging famous boxer Shakur Stevenson, who's a master at range and hitting without getting hit, on his ability to lay bodies down and get knockouts like Tank Davidson or Terrence Crawford. And I know that was a lot of examples, but the gist is this. Stop judging your hair by things that your hair was never supposed to do in the first place. So is 4C hair hard to manage? No. 4C hair is amazing at doing 4C hair type things, but that might lead somebody to ask, what are some 4C hair type things? Like, what is 4C hair really good at? Well, number one, 4C hair is amazing at protecting your scalp. So if you have 4C hair, it's very likely that you have ancestors that originate somewhere near the equator where sun damage would be prevalent. You see, the better your hair is able to kink and shrink, the more protected you are from sun damage on your scalp. Just like the more melanin you have in your skin, the more protected you are from sunburn on your skin, even though it doesn't completely alleviate you from sunburn. But on the opposite side of town, our counterparts with looser and straighter hair textures often have ancestors that originate from much colder climates. And their head texture tends to lay a lot closer and a lot flatter to their scalp because it's really intended to act as like a second layer of insulation. Think of somebody putting on a light jacket when it's cold outside. That's why their hair lays so easy. But enough about them because this video is about 4C hair. Number two, 4C hair is amazing at growing up and growing out. So it will behoove everybody with type 4 hair or 4C hair to utilize styles that need your hair to grow up and grow out. That means every time that you choose a style that doesn't go up and out, you're essentially going against the nature of your very own hair. And while we should all appreciate the flexibility and the diversity of type 4 hair in general, I like to bring up a point that you should not be complaining about how much time, how much energy, how much effort, product, and money you have to spend on doing your hair if you're doing something that goes against your hair's natural biology. We should be thankful that if you want to have straight hair for a day, you can get a silk press or a perm, which I don't recommend the perm part, but you can do it if you want straight hair for a short amount of time. If you want a more defined curly look, you can do a twist out, you can do a braid out, or you can do a wash and go, even though it may not last forever. So type 4 hair, type 4C hair is extremely versatile, but for 1 second, could you imagine having type 1 hair and trying to get an afro? That's a different struggle. So let's work to kind of bring, if you've ever needed very specific advice on your hair care or your skincare, and you're thinking these videos are great, but I need just a little bit more
Let me guess, another King
specific advice, then you should join my school community, where I personally host a weekly Q&A a couple of decades later in the 90s. The high top fade. You know I love a good fade, man. The high top fade is the perfect combination of black pride, creativity, charisma, style, attitude, all of that and more. It can give you a sillier, more playful, fun look like it did for Kid and Play, or it can give you a smooth, suave look like Big Daddy Kane. And we actually brought this back almost a decade ago between 2012, 2013, and 2014, man, where it was a mean era. Almost everybody had a high top fade. And as we progress further into the 2020s, I wouldn't be mad to see that hairstyle come back. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about getting a high top fade as my in-between style, because those of you that know, or those of you that care, know that I'm gonna cut my locks in about a year once I hit my goal length. And I was thinking about going straight to waves, but after making this video, I'm almost 90% sure that I'm gonna sport a high top fade for at least 3 to 4 months before I truly go back to waves. And I'm gonna try my best to get that style back in, because I loved that style and I love that time in hair. I'll be the one to get that hairstyle back popping. So y'all heard it here first. And the reason why I say 90% instead of 100% is because that last 10% is based on if I can find a barber who does an amazing high top fade for a reasonable price. Because if some of these guys are charging $60 for a normal temp fade, I can only imagine what they want to charge for an exquisite, clean, square, high box fade. Because when I get mine, I'm not going low, I'm going high. So if I can find a great barber who's willing to do $35 or $45 a cut adjusted for inflation, look out for the barbers, now I wouldn't hesitate to go get a high top fade and keep it maintained by going to the barber every 2 weeks. But 45 is as high as I'm going. I kind of revealed number 3 a couple seconds ago, but don't worry about it, because number 3 is waves. Getting 360 waves is one of the best things that you can possibly do for 4C hair, and that's for women and men. And while I could go into the reasons why 4C hair is perfect for waves, I want to show you guys one of these TikToks that I did a couple months ago where I got deep fried. And when I say deep fried, I mean deep fried. Check this out.
What happened to when men was getting waves? Like, I need the waves. I don't care about the dreads. Like,
if you look at the comment section for that video, you would swear up and down that waves is just the most attractive style that a man can have. And as someone who's an advocate for men's hair, who's had many conversations with guys who cut their hair, grown it out, cut their hair and grown it out, majority of them will tell you that their experience is they get way less love when they got waves or when they got a low cut. But you hop on TikTok and it seems like everybody just loves waves. You're a guy and you've always wanted to know why this is. It's because of a small phenomenon called texturism. You see, when they say they want the low cut season with the deep waves, they're normally talking about somebody like this or somebody like this. But when they make their little TikTok videos, rarely ever do they include anybody with a texture like this. And this is the epitome of 360 waves. So if you're thinking about cutting your hair to appease the TikTok comments, please don't do it. Because the same way a lot of guys don't like natural hair, they just like 3C curly hair. A lot of girls don't like waves. They just like 3C waves. And if I'm wrong, then prove me wrong. And I know this, and hold on, before you get tight with me, I know this is a very, very harsh claim in this TikTok, but these are some of the responses. So as you can see by the evidence, 4C hair is beyond the best hair type to have if you want waves. Once again, y'all, my bad. Y'all deep fried me enough. Number 4, 4C hair is amazing at tangling. And it might be a little problematic that I use the word tangling because words have meanings. And meanings just aren't built off definitions, but also connotations. And although the definition of tangling isn't exactly negative, the connotation is usually negative because the goal is normally to keep something straight and uniform, especially when it comes to hair. But maybe, just maybe, we can change our perspective and think of a hairstyle that is benefited by a hair type that tangles a lot faster than others. Maybe some of you thinking about it. If you're thinking about it, drop it down in the comments. For those of you that are thinking, you got a couple more seconds to think. Here are a few hints. Exactly. Locks. 4C hair is amazing at locking, and there's no wonder why we call it locking instead of tangling, because of the positive connotation, because the definition is exactly the same. So if you have 4C hair and you struggle trying to do some of those down styles where your hair is weighted down and you want to feel your head down your back, or you want to feel what it likes to have really long hair, having locks is an amazing solution. Okay, boom, finally we done talking about the things that 4C hair is good at. Now let's talk about growing 4C hair. This goes for every type 4 hair texture. The number one thing that you must do in order to grow type 4A, 4B, 4C hair is achieve moisture. It just also happens that that is also the hardest thing to do for type 4A, 4B, and 4C hair. You see, the game we play is a little bit different. Because of the kinks and coils in our hair, it's very hard for the natural sebum that's in our scalp to make its way all the way up the hair shaft. Therefore, we need a little help keeping it moisturized. So in addition to your hair type with the numbers and the letters, it's also very important that you understand your hair's porosity. And a little cheat sheet on hair porosity is, think of the word porosity, porous. Porous, holes. So somebody with high porosity has a lot of holes for product and water to go in their hair shaft, making it very easy to get their hair moisturized. But the issue is those same holes stay open, so it's just as easy to get your hair dry as it is to get it moisturized, as opposed to some of us actually have low porosity hair, so you have a lower amount of holes, which means it's very hard to get the initial moisture in your hair. But once you get that moisture in, it tends to stay trapped and stay moisturized for a good period of time. So in addition to your hair type, make sure you find out your other hair type. And once you achieve that moisture, I promise you will see your type 4A, 4B, and 4C hair flourish. Next up, if you want to grow your 4C hair, the best thing you can do is detangle your hair, because unless you have locks, I said unless you have locks and your intention is to have your hair lock up, the days that you see the absolute most hair come out of your head are the days where you have to detangle because you want braids or a certain style, or the days that you simply pick your hair, which is detangling. So the better you're able to keep your hair untangled, the less hair you lose when you try to detangle. So the best thing I advise is for you to get on a very consistent routine, whether it's once a week or once a month or every 2 months or every time you take out a style and wash your hair. Please find a product with some slip so you can detangle your hair. And slip just basically means it helps the comb or whatever you use to detangle slip through your hair so it's not as much breakage. And if you're looking for a product with great slip, look no further than the Royal Hydration Treatment. This is an amazing deep conditioner that not only moisturizes your hair, but it has amazing slip. So if you're used to detangling, taking 30 minutes.
I think we seen it now. I'm about to order me some food from Taco Bell. Hell yeah. I got that. Yeah. I ain't gonna do too much. I'm gonna save that for later. Alright. Hell yeah. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna do another video. My food won't be here for about, it says 4:40 to 4:55, so that's about